Up here on the Pro Wrestling Show, we talk about All In, the independent pay-per-view that was produced by Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks, the Elite, where the pay-per-view succeeded expectations and garnered $1 million in revenue. You won't believe that. Plus, we'll have the Raw Ring Report, the SmackDown Ring Report, and more hot topics that you can ever imagine. All New Pro Wrestling Show starts right now. Welcome to the Pro Wrestling Show again. I'm your host, Kendrick Dixon. Welcome back. We had to take a break because of the holiday last week, but we didn't miss nothing. We didn't miss a beat. So join in the conversation using the hashtag PWS, acronym stand for Pro Wrestling Show, here on Connect TV, the little Connect TV button, and you'll see that little fade where it says Connect TV. Hit that subscribe button, click it, and you'll be subscribed to Connect TV, and you won't miss a thing. And we also want to thank our new subscribers. Thank you all for watching Connect TV. Thank you all for being in the moment. You know, we are growing, and we thank you all for being there for us as we continue this journey and this ride, as we're growing day by day. And also, don't forget that this Monday there will be a historic announcement regarding Connect TV during its birthday week. We're going to wrap it up with a bang here on our birthday week. But let's get started with the Raw Ring Report. The Raw Ring Report this week, man, well, anything can happen on Raw. Well, Raw kicked off with Braun Strowman and Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre with this newfound alliance that they formed. So Braun elaborated, said that he got revenge because the Shield attacked him, which does so made sense because I was kind of confused at first, and then now they're trying to make it seem like Strowman becoming a monster heel again, going for the championship, cashing it in to what he said that he was going to do. Whoever became the Universal Champion at SummerSlam, he was going to cash in their face. So Strowman versus Roman Reigns inside Hell in a Cell for the Universal Championship. It feels fresh, it feels nice that now Strowman is the one chasing and Roman is now the hunted. And Roman has his brothers in Shield who came down and confront the newly formed team, and the whole roster had to stop the whole team from tearing each other apart. So that led to Baron Corbin putting the Shield in jail for the rest of the night, as we thought, but we'll get to that later on. Also, speaking of Ziggler and McIntyre, Ziggler and McIntyre interrupted and attacked the Revival, who is ready to get a World Tag Team title shot, and they just, took their spots and left the Revival outlaying and defeated the B team, and now are the new Raw Tag Team champions. Now, if Strowman becomes Universal Champion, they will be unstoppable. They're unstoppable now, but they had their little, tied in. And also, we found out it's going to be a huge 6-man tag team match from Raw, from Strowman, the new tag team champions, Ziggler and McIntyre, versus the Shield, huge for the Melbourne, Australia card. Like I said, that didn't stop there, as they had more surprises and more returns and more shock. The more surprises was the Bella Twins returned to action in 3 years to compete against the Riot Squad. Good matchup indeed, but we can tell Nikki's still back to her ways, but Bree still got a little ring rust. She's probably had to work the ring rust because she's competing on both shows now. So Nikki Bella kind of getting back to the Bella Twins, and they saying that she reportedly might get a push for the Raw Women's title down the road against Ronda. So the Bella Twins looking good, looking phenomenal as always. But you know how they go. Also, what a shock that Drake Maverick, the general manager of 205 Live, is now the new manager of the Authors of Pain. Now, this comes from the Authors of Pain not having a mouthpiece from Precious Paul Ellery, who decided he don't want to go on the road no more. And Drake Maverick is the one to lead that charge. So let's see what Drake Maverick can do with his expertise. He has been a manager before in a previous organization, so you know what I'm talking about. So we'll see what Drake Maverick can do. Also, another shocking, it was announced past last week that Shawn Michaels was coming back to address the Triple H Undertaker match at 4 Super Showdown. And Shawn Michaels, like we always know, he's going to pick his best friend Triple H to win over the Undertaker. But long hold before the darkness comes out, and long you don't know the ominous dark Undertaker, the Phenom, the conscience of the WWE, the cornerstone of the WWE, returns without notice. And just like when the Undertaker's music hits, you know the bell has tolled. The Undertaker called Shawn Michaels out and saying that you're not the reason you're mad. The reason you're saying it because I ended your career. And Shawn Michaels saying it's all about respect. And Michaels was saying that he's been itching to get back into the ring for a very long time. So you know, hey, is what it is with that. But this should be very interesting. As we also learned that Mick Foley will be returning to address that situation. Mick Foley has a history with both men as well, both men in Hell in a Cell. Remember that infamous Hell in a Cell match where the Undertaker literally threw Mick Foley through 20 feet, and people thought Foley was dead, and vice versa with Triple H and Foley for the WWE title back in 2000. I can fondly remember, and Triple H did the same thing, ending costing Foley his last match, as we thought, his first retirement run. And at the end of the night was the Shield returned when Strowman went against Finn Balor. Well, Finn Balor was supposed to have a scheduled match with acting GM Baron Corbin, but Corbin changed the rules and changed the script and put Strowman in his place, and Strowman dominated Finn Balor until the Shield came out, and the Shield tried to help Balor, but it was to no avail. That the whole heel roster of the Raw side came out and attacked the whole Shield and destroyed the whole Shield. It took the roster versus the Shield to dominate the entire roster except the Cleans. You had Jinder Mahal, you had the Authors of Pain, you had everybody just destroying the roster. Drew Gallo, stuff like that. I'm like, man, the Shield just got broken down to pieces. But don't count the Shield out. They will come back in with a vengeance. I will tell you that right now. All right, that is the Raw report. Let's move on to the SmackDown report. On the SmackDown report, SmackDown kicked off with when earlier in the day, The Miz and Maurice challenged Daniel Bryan and Brie into an empty arena match, and Daniel Bryan and Brie didn't show up. I guess Brie was still trying to get back from when she was on Raw to get to the show. But Miz and Maurice challenging Daniel Bryan and them. Well, when the show started with Renee Young opening and bringing out the Yes Couple, the Yes Couple felt the need to wanting to fight them, but Miz and Maurice kind of left the building as we thought. So Andrade Cien and Selena Vega came out and they repeated the same match again. Bryan versus Cien, and Bryan won, and that was it. But we'll get to that later. What had happened when the couples, the It couple and the Yes couple had met again. Also, Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch was on a face-to-face screen, and talking about their upcoming title match between the two. And one thing about Becky Lynch gained momentum. I was telling somebody a couple of days ago, why does the SmackDown Women's Championship mean more important than the Raw Women's Championship right now at this point in time? Because Becky Lynch is making it relevant again, because Becky Lynch is going through the grain, and Becky Lynch is just filled with emotions because she thought SummerSlam was her night. She thought she can defeat Carmella to become the women's champion by herself, but it turned around. Becky Lynch and Charlotte pitted against each other. So we'll see how this goes, because there's been a rumor, I don't know if it's true, that this match could be reportedly a Hell in a Cell match for the women on the SmackDown side. So that seems to be appropriate for a grudge match between those two. Alright. Also, WWE, giving the return of Asuka, helping out Naomi against the Iconics. And the Iconics had Naomi where they wanted them. Asuka came out of nowhere. And plus, the WWE Champion, AJ Styles, getting his revenge on Samoa Joe, playing mind games. It's like SmackDown becoming the land of mind games and land of opportunity, with Samoa Joe and AJ Styles feuding for the title. And you got Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton, who's feuding for nothing, I guess, feuding for, just a grudge match, feuding for just being the battle of veterans. They don't need a title. They've been former champions, so they want to sell their differences inside the cell and stuff. So there's a lot of feuding going on with SmackDown and stuff. And then in the main event was the Miz versus R-Truth, where Miz felt disrespected because R-Truth called his wife Maurice Carmella, and Maurice called attention saying, I don't look like Carmella and I don't act like Carmella. I ain't Carmella because she's a piece of what. And R-Truth won the match with Carmella. That's why he was convincing Carmella with Ty Dillinger to join him and stuff, and Carmella agreed. So it makes Carmella now babyface now. When she was a heel champion, now she's a babyface. It's just you're rewriting the script so many times, you kind of like wondering like whose side is who and who's doing what, But at the end, it was R-Truth getting the victory over the Miz, and Daniel Bryan helped and Brie Bella helped. But at the end, the CNs again, it was, and Selena Vega did the same thing and got attacked for their troubles. So leaving Miz and Maurice, leaving them just to get high and dry. Alright, so we know what's going on SmackDown, so that does it for the SmackDown Ring Report. Alright, when we return, we're going to have hot topics. We're going to have special hot topics where we talk about the All-In pay-per-view event, where it was a can't miss, and I'll tell you my initial thoughts on it after this. Stay tuned. Back to the Pro Wrestling Show. Once again, Kendrick Dix here. Use the hashtag PWS for everything Pro Wrestling Show here on Connect TV. Join in the conversation. We love wrestling, and wrestling matters. That's what the Pro Wrestling Show tagline is. Wrestling matters. So let's get to hot topics. On hot topics this week, man, Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks should be given applause because of the tremendous work ethic and the tremendous effort and determination that they did to provide and produce a pay-per-view event called All In. There was an independent show in Chicago. It sold out. Many people know it sold out 10,000 seats. It exceeded the 10,000 seat era, and it sold out 11,000 in about 3 something. Just the number right there. 11,000 something, 11,000 plus. So congratulations, kudos to Cody and the Young Bucks, the Elite, of producing a wrestling event to showcase people's wrestling talents, and discover new talents, and show the world that you can do what you can dream with your imagination. But speaking of that, Cody stole the show with his match. One thing I will tell you later, but what I liked and what I didn't like. Now, the first thing I liked was Cody wrestling for the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship against Nick Aldis. Now we know Cody had his entourage. Cody had the likes of DDP, Tommy Dreamer, Glacier, and his father-in-law, and many others. And he even had his dog walk him through the ring, leading the way for Cody and Brandi as well, coming out there. What a feel-good moment for Cody. With Madness on the other end, Madness coming out with former TNA superstar Samuel Shaw, former NWA champion, Tim Storm, Davari, and the man who carried the NWA championship when he founded TNA and had agreement with them, Jeff Jarrett. Out of nowhere, that was a shock, that was a surprise. I had to look twice and see Jarrett back in the fray again, because Jeff Jarrett was a fixture in that NWA title throughout the 2000s, from 2002 to 2006. That's a 4-year stretch right there. Jarrett, mentoring Madness, leading them to TNA, and now to this. Kudos to the NWA, because that takes a lot of guts. That takes a lot of star power and guts. And now these days, the NWA might not need TV. What they doing with the YouTube channel, it's working. It's working. People are watching to see good wrestling matches like what Cody and Aldis did. It was a instant classic. It reminded you of an NWA title match, because with Flair and Rose, Race and Flair, the Funks, that history, that tradition, that lineage, and carry on that title. And now Cody Rhodes defeated Madness, and now he carries on that tradition, and thus making Cody and his father Dusty Rhodes the first father and son duo to ever win the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship. That is a huge feat and a huge accomplishment, and kudos to Cody for that. Also, Joey Ryan comes out with he comes out like he's the Undertaker or something. It was funny stick, but at the same time, it's just hey, that's how sleazy he can be. Also, we had the women's match was good, but the tag team, 6-man tag team, Rey Mysterio's could be last appearance for Independence, and he might be heading to WWE sooner than we think. So Rey finished up in there. The one that really stood out was the over the budget battle royal, because they had everybody in that battle royal. Like Bullet Ray, you name it. Flip Gordon eventually won the battle royal, and Flip Gordon went on to challenge Jay Lethal, who became the Macho Man Randy Savage for one night. So, and Lanny Poffo was with Jay Lethal's side. So, All In was an incredible event. I just wish that the NWA title, that Cody match and stuff would have been last, but we understand now that Cody had to produce the whole entire show through the end, so I guess he had to reach a compromise with the Young Bucks. But it was a good show. It was a good, decent show. Everybody put their effort into it, and what can you ask for? And at the end, not at the end, but during the middle, it was a surprise. It caught me by surprise when Chris Jericho dressed as Pentagon Jr. taking on Kenny Omega, it was a decent match. I'm still trying to watch that match to see if that was Pentagon Jr. and when the lights went out, it was Chris Jericho and him switched. Now Jericho making some rounds and stuff, but will we see Jericho end up on Impact? Well, we have to see and find out. So Chris Jericho making an impact as well on All In. So that's good for now. Speaking of one person who didn't show up at All In was CM Punk. Punk appeared for the Pro Wrestling Tees autograph session during that weekend, but decided and opted out to not show up for the actual show. After Cole Rhodes kept assisting and kept wanting him to be on the show, but Punk, he respected Punk's wishes, and Punk didn't want to be on the show. He wanted to pursue his MMA career. With that situation, it let a lot of fans down because CM Punk from Chicago should have at least made an appearance and just said, "Hey, I'm here." He didn't have to wrestle, but I understand. But then at the same time, CM Punk still got a lot of mileage left in his tank, and if that's what he chooses that he wants to do, he wants to follow pursuit in MMA. Ain't nothing we can do about it. So let's let Punk have his way and give Punk the floor, and maybe one day he'll change his mind. I hope so. I hope we do. All right. Speaking of that, meanwhile, Big Cass, former WWE superstar, appeared on Booker T's podcast, Heated Conversations, and Big Cass had some regrets on stuff that he wished he would have done when he spent his time in WWE. But let's hear what Big Cass had to say about this. Yeah, Big Cass said he would have fired himself because of his actions in WWE, which is understandable. Big Cass can own up to his mistakes. He's a man. He's owning up to it, and you can respect him for it. But he said that him and Enzo, you can't see him. He don't talk to Enzo like he used to no more. And they both grew up together, so you grow apart. Once you be around somebody for so long, you grow apart. So that's understandable. All right. WWE announced this week that the Mixed Match Challenge is returning for its second season, and it will premiere in late September with new pairings and some of the same pairings from the last previous season. It's like Miz and Asuka, Alexa Bliss and Braun Strowman, and Jimmy and Jay Uso. But new pairings such as Natalya and Kevin Owens, Bobby Lashley and Sasha Banks. Trying to think, Finn Balor and Bayley, and Jinder Mahal. New pairings such as Jinder Mahal and Alicia Fox, and many more. And Rusev and Lana will be appearing back as well. So Mixed Match Challenge looking good to be and stuff. Also, the Mae Young Classic premiered this week. So the Mae Young Classic had luminaries that competing for the tournament. Now, many people may know MJ Jenkins from Impact Wrestling and Independent Promotions. Madison Reigns, Sienna, Maya Yim, who used to be Jade in Impact. So there's a lot of returning faces. Caitlyn returning back. So every Wednesday on WWE Network, watch the Mae Young Classic and see for yourself. All right, and finally, the WWE gets recognized, not by the Emmy Awards, but the People's Choice Awards. WWE gets nominated for 5 awards, which mainly on their superstars, with Raw itself being named in the TV category. Nia Jax gets an award for her courage from WrestleMania, not being fat shamed and stuff like that. The Rock, John Cena, and Nikki Bella for Dance with the Stars in Total Divas. So congratulations to WWE. Alright. That does it for the hot topics. Let's move over to the Impact Ring Report. On the Impact Ring Report this week, Impact Wrestling is on the road to Bound for Glory. And we found out this week that Conan and King had to go to a summit with these, what you want to call drug lords, or just lords. I'll say that, lords. And these three lords said, hey, you're forbidden to touch each other, but you have to wait until Battle for Glory, and then y'all can fight on a 6-man tag team match. Now, who these drug lords putting this match together, man? Who really is the figurehead of this? See, that's one thing. I guess Impact and Ring Honor said, we ain't doing that WWE gimmicky stuff, that figurehead stuff. So I understand. Also, the women's championship, the Knockouts title was on the line, whereas Tessa Blanchard defends her newly title against the former champion Su Yung. Well, things got to a rough start, and at the end, Tessa won, but Su Yung made sure she was gonna get her revenge and almost put Tessa in the casket until she was saved by Allie, and Tessa kind of refused Allie's help. So, what to say about that? Say about that. Also, now we know Katrina, she dumped Grado, left him by the altar, but she's having feelings and fixated with Joe Henry, but Joe Henry doesn't feel the same. Now you tell me this, is Joe Henry playing Grado or just making him think he believed that Grado is gullible and pathetic? I don't know. Also, found out why Moose did what he did last week. Moose said he was sick and tired of Eddie Edwards calling, complaining, and Eddie wasn't there, and Eddie attacked him, and I get it, but then, alright. And did you see what Moose had on? He looked at too flashy, like he came from Austin Powers. He had gold on top and then silver pants, bottoms on the bottom. Who is dressing you, Moose? You're supposed to be Moose. Moose could have been wearing a suit. They should have been wearing suits. It just looked out of place. Like Austin Aries wearing regular classroom gear. Kevin Cross wearing like his New York gear, what I understand, and then Moose wearing that flashy stuff. It's just like everything was in place. And, WWE kind of make it seem like everyone got to be looking to the T. Then we found out that Austin Aries' new challenger would be Johnny Impact. The Impact will challenge Austin Aries for the World Championship at Bound for Glory. So it's interesting to see how that's going to transpire. Well, that does it for the Impact Ring Report. Alright, I've been Kendrick saying so long for watching, and thank you for watching the Pro Wrestling Show.